Yo, what's going on? You are listening to the Playing On Podcast. My name is Carl Markowski, and thank you for joining me. This podcast is brought to you by Charm City Paintball, the head game guru himself. Mike, over at Charm City, has been pumping out all kinds of awesome headgear, anywhere from vintage camo to all kinds of prints. It's like he had a grandma's couch. We called it grandma's couch because it was like a floral pattern, but it was very, very cool. He has some striping work that he's been working on. He just got a brand new vintage camo that I have not seen yet. I still have to go online and check it out, but he says it's pretty cool, and I believe him. But he makes all of the headgear that you see a lot of the Chicago Aftershock guys wear. Also some teams down in Florida, they wear his stuff, and he makes all of the pack bands that I have. So make sure you give him a shout if you're looking for anything. He does custom stuff as well, and really all of his headgear is a limited run, usually about 10 headbands or less. But he also makes headgear, head wraps. You know, I think he just acquired some white mesh, so he's making some of those. But if you hit him up, Charm City Paintball on Instagram or Facebook, mainly Facebook, I think is what he wants. But make sure you hit him up. Let him know that Carl from the Playing On Podcast sent you over there to get fancied up. So thank you to Charm City. We are also brought to you by Contract Killer, the one and only laser dudes that are just killing it in the laser game. I mean, the graphics that they're coming out with is amazing. These guys have been putting out pretty cool laser work for Sam Monville. I believe has some. I'm not sure, but I think Sam is working with them on some laser engraving. But I know some Houston Heat guys. I know Yaya has a lot of stuff from them. There's a lot of teams across the board that have laser engraving. That's what's in right now. Check them out. Contract Killer, ckfightlife.com. They also have paintball gear from head to toe, jerseys, pads, packs, pants, all kinds of neato stuff. But if you do more than paintball, like let's say jiu-jitsu, they also have gis and rash guards and belts and all kinds of cool jiu-jitsu gear. Make sure you check them out, ckfightlife.com. And if you have any questions about the laser engraving or any kind of products or anything like that, you can give Tony a call at 951-219-5045. I wonder how many prank calls that he's gotten so far from from me giving out his number. But give Tony a call, and he'll help you out. They're awesome over there. And last but not least, we are brought to you by Planet Eclipse, the makers of the CS1, CS 1.5, the now CS2, which has, flooded the market. I mean, people are loving these things. One of the things that I like about the CS2 when I did shoot one was that the grip on the frame was thinner. It was as thin as like an LV or something like that, or even, an old 3.5 GO or something like that. They slimmed that grip down from the CS1, and it makes a world of difference. I'll tell you right now. But alongside from that, they make this thing called a mechanical etha, which is nasty. It's going to be their new rental marker series that they're coming out with. It's just a little single trigger hinge trigger frame, and I shot it in the 10-man a few weeks back, and it was like ball on ball, and I had a blast shooting this thing. Make sure you get your hands on one. If you like having fun playing paintball, shooting one ball at a time, like I do, check this thing out. I mean, mechanical tournaments are on the way. They're on their way back. It's starting to hit the market. So I don't know exactly if they're out or not. I know some fields are getting some orders in, but if you get the chance, talk to your field owner, try and shoot one. They are awesome, and they're cocker thread too. So throw whatever barrel you want on there. I like the carbon fiber barrel that Planet has. Shoots perfect. It is tits. So thank you to all of our sponsors. This episode is with Ryan Smith, the coach and former player of the Houston Heat paintball team. Holy shit, have they been on a run. They just won over in France, which this podcast, I'm going to have to do another one with them, but this podcast was a little bit after they had just won France, and we had actually went back, and him and I were watching every point of that of the finals match live as we're doing the podcast. It's kind of, we're kind of watching it as it's happening. But we'll have to do another one for Dallas because they just won Dallas. They beat the brakes off of us and some other teams out there to take home the gold. But congratulations, everybody on Houston Heat. Congrats to Ryan Smith. And I thought this was a really fun podcast, and I'm sure you guys are going to like it. So give it up for Ryan Smith. All right, man. What's up?
Oh, not much. Thank you for having me on, Carl. I appreciate it. I ran through your list and saw that you've had some awesome people on, and I got some big shoes to fill, it sounds like.
No, man. You're definitely amongst the paintball peoples right now. We're watching your guys' game against the Impactos in France right now. We're watching the first match. So everybody listening, we're doing this thing where we're actually watching the footage and we're gonna commentate kind of on our own and from Ryan's perspective, which I think is pretty cool. So all right, so this first point goes out. So do you guys have any kind of specific game plan that you guys roused up for Impact themselves?
Well, I tried to go to quick summary. I tried to go to the car and watch some of their game really quick, and my internet wasn't loading enough, so I really didn't get a good chance to. Mm-hmm. But it really just amounted to what I had watched before and kind of trying to pick on one or two guys that the easiest to pick on, find one guy that we could shoot to increase our odds and go low risk and see how it goes.
Yeah.
With the new bunkers, it's just things have gotten crazy, so you don't really know. From my personal opinion on how things work, the field can go crazy.
Did you guys get a penalty that first point?
The first point, we actually had a 5-on-3, and we got 2 penalties and lost.
Oh my God.
I believe is what it amounted to, and that's one thing that I struggle with. I need to get people to hook me up with a heart rate monitor because I think they would get a kick out of that whenever I'm coaching. It's like a roller coaster, right?
You know what you should wear is one of those. Those paranormal shows where people are walking through the buildings and they have that chest camera with the GoPro like sticking way out just at their face. You should just wear that.
Oh yeah, people would get a kick out of it for sure because it goes from like this first point with 5-on-3 and we get 2 penalties, and I go from like super excited and everybody was excited to holy fuck, what just happened? Like, help me.
Yeah, it looked like Chad got up in that snake fairly quickly, but I don't know who it was on Impact, but down that D side they got into that home. What the hell do we call those race bunkers? Is that what we call them? The race bunkers?
Yeah, you can call them the race bunkers and mini W, even though the W is not around.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of names for everything, right? So. The race bunker or mini W. I know both. I think most people do, hopefully.
All right, so you know what I'm talking about. But it looks like on that 50 side that he got in there fairly quickly, and it looks like it might have clipped. Was that Yaya that played that tower on that D side?
No, I don't know who it was. I think it was. I'm not sure. It might have been Fedorov. Somebody. I'm not sure who. Or Sam. It could have been.
Oh,
I'm not sure. I don't even remember. I have a hard time remembering layouts and remembering like the last match. Thank goodness there's film, so I can go back and watch it. But
I know,
I'm taking notes.
Yeah,
but
speaking of Sam,
we got two minor penalties that first point, and it deflated us at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, especially in a finals match, that's a tough pill to swallow. Because you want to set a precedence, right? You want to set this cadence and this momentum builder in the first point, which all the teams want to try and do. And going up 5-on-3 and getting those penalties, that just had to kind of put the winds out of the sails.
Yeah, it totally does, and that's something I tell our guys. Like the first point is important for all the kids out there that play paintball. The first point's important. I believe that the second ups the first, and then the third is like the do or die point, right? Because you either you lose one, you can come back and tie it up. Mm-hmm. You lose 2, you risk going down 3 points, or vice versa, right? So that third point's really almost the most important out of everything, to me, because that's when the time crunch happens.
That looks
so
like
the next one,
yeah, we're in the second point.
The next
right
point
now.
we went a little. Yeah, a little riskier as far as running. Definitely got a couple generous bounces, and this just lost the guy. I really can't. I mean, Chad George played lights out for the most part. He got shot the second point, but it's just, you get into matches like this on these Sundays. There are all grudge matches, and I tell our guys it's 15 minutes of hell because every little thing is just it's amplified, right? It's magnified. Is in the pits, out of the pits, the crowd, just everybody's into it, and everything gets amplified. And what is like a Sunday stroll for normal people turns into this bloodbath for two teams. And
well, lots on the line. I mean, that's the biggest thing. So much is on the line, and you guys are, I mean, you guys as in Impact and Heat. I mean, high level teams, high level players, high level teams, and playing in a game like this, even though, people want to say, well, it is, and we're watching Impact takes the second point, but it might be a European event where it's not like the hype isn't really there as it is for an American event. But for us, I mean, paintball's paintball, and finals Sunday paintball is finals Sunday paintball, and there's no words really that can explain the mindset and the attitude and kind of what goes into these games.
Yeah, there really isn't anything, and it's comparable to, I mean, any other playoff. We got the NBA playoffs right now. We got the hockey playoffs right now. It's just that's what our Sundays are. They're just compressed into one day instead of a couple months, right? 2 months or whatever the NBA is, and the intensity's there the whole time. It doesn't matter what team you're playing. It's just as competitors, that hype is there. That level of intensity is there. And
so at this point, what do you saying to everybody in the pits? What's kind of what's the approach right now?
I mean, you go down, right? This is what I'm talking about as far as the third point's the most crucial, because you either go down 3 and you don't have that much time. Like the time crunch starts to come into effect on a third point. It's like, okay, you kind of have to start mapping out. This is what we have to do. This is how we have to do it. And you don't want to lose that third one because you're going to go down 3, and it's a more comfortable spot for teams. They relax, they get in these spots, they kill time, and then it's like it changes the whole pace of the game, right? So we should have had the first one, we didn't. That one's on us, right? Mm-hmm. The second one, everybody's kind of still heartbroken as far as moods go. So it's like, man, you know what? And then the third one, it's like, okay, guys, this is a wake up call. Like we got to pull our heads out of our asses and buckle down, otherwise we're going to be embarrassed. And I think that's when the attitude changed and the intensity got brought up a notch. And I mean, it's on me too as far as who I pick, which is tough because you watch two good points where not much went wrong. You don't have much time to make changes, right? You got to kind of believe in the guys. Do you spin somebody because they got shot once and you think they're going to be hot and something didn't go your way, you got 2 penalties, or do you try to put somebody fresh in for that day, for that match?
That is exactly why I don't think I would make a good coach. Just because making those choices. I mean, not that I couldn't make the choice. It's just, I mean, it is just staggering the things that you have to think about and the trust that you have to put into guys when they might not have had a good, 2-3 points. And it's that, oh, man, well, I believe in you. Go do your job,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's tough. It really, especially when you have 10, right? Most teams cut back to 7, 8. And 7 or 8 is manageable. I mean, I do it sometimes. I've done it before, and it's manageable and it's a little bit easier. But when you got 10, it's like you got everybody's opinion. Mm-hmm. And everybody trying to give you their opinions when ultimately it is my decision, and most of the time I need to stick with my gut, and sometimes I get talked out of it and you regret it.
Yeah.
And you got to weigh the options, and it's tough to do in 2 minutes. It really is.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's different also because it's hard for me because I played the game a year ago, and I see everything that's going on, and I have a perfect understanding of it. And it's like, oh, I just want this to happen. Oh, I just want this to happen. And it's like, It's hard to just not say, let me go out there and do it. I just can go do it myself. But totally different views from all the players, right?
Yeah, and we're all adults, I mean, that we're
Yeah.
full-grown men, trying to make these decisions, and you are the one that's in charge of them all.
Yeah, and you butt heads obviously sometimes, but the biggest thing that we led to was going with this third point is the pace slows down a little bit. I mean, 2 minutes is off the clock, right, on this third point. So that's when you start getting into those time crunch situations. Impact doesn't feel like they have to move anywhere, and now the pressure's on us to make moves and shoot them, dig them out of their spots, and earn that point. But all of this led up. I mean, a quick backstory. We drove to Normandy, to Omaha Beach at like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
The day we got there, or the first full day we were there, and some of the guys went, and it was an awesome experience. Anybody that's ever over there needs to go, because it's just feeling like no other. And it was kind of something where it's like, I just like talked to the guys that were there and our guys, and I told them, I'm like, man, this is it. Like, this is where brothers drug each other lifeless or helped each other up this beach, up this cliff, and didn't know anything that they were getting into.
Mm-hmm.
They just knew that they had to go do a job and do a mission, and they believed in one another. And there were some guys, we stood on top of a bunker, a German bunker, and I told them, like, guys came up here one morning and they were crying because they survived. Yeah. There was grown-ass men crying because they survived or they lost somebody, and it was the most heart-touching and heartfelt and like beautiful places that I've ever been to.
Yeah.
And I think that played a big role of motivation as far as guys digging it out. Is like, hey man, you know what? You're down, but you're never out, right?
Exactly.
Keep going. So that was the grit and the force behind it. But obviously with that too, everybody gets lucky a little bit, right?
Yeah, in paintball, man, luck has there's a lot of paintballs flying in the air. So
oh yeah. Yeah, you gotta have some luck.
Quick, just running back to because I want to go back to the Normandy thing, but this third point looks like you guys pretty much held out. Chad made a really good move, a very patient move into the snake, all the way down to the 50, and I believe shot Dalton or somebody who was over on that side of the field, and then caught a couple guys quick, and now he's in the corner.
There was a
1-on-1?
A couple trades, and then it came down to a 2-on-1. Nick ran around, and I don't know who he shot off the Dorito side to make it a 2-on-1 with Chad, but Chad took off running because he didn't see anybody looking at him, and Nick had missed him. Yeah, Nick had missed him, and he bunkered, I believe it was Keith, out of the corner, and then started breaking some paint, got in a 1-on-1 with Nick, and spoiler alert, he ends up bunkering him out of the back center. It was one of those spots where all Nick had to do was kind of protect the buzzer, and obviously he knows that now, but he made some good moves and got himself in a great position, but he just for some reason looked. I mean, that's part of that luck deal, right? Is for some reason Nick decided to look that way and Chad decided to run the other way, and it worked out. And nothing against Chad. It's like it was a great heads up move by him, but sometimes it involves a little bit of luck, and he happened to be fast and sneaky and quiet.
Yeah, and I believe it's so much intuition too. As far as experience and an overall really really good great paintball player goes, is on those gut feelings when it's your brain and your gut says, hey, you should go. You should probably go, and it's one of those things where just Nick was looking the opposite way, and Chad chose the right way to go down, and worked out in his favor.
Yeah, and you're fast too. I see you get up and go all the time. You make it to spots. That's our game plan every time we play Shock, is shoot Carl.
It makes paintball fun, man. That's for me. That's what makes paintball fun, is being able to make spots, make shots. And I gotta find a third rhyme for that to make like some kind of chant that I can say.
Yeah. So it's I mean, that was a crucial point, right? That gets you back in the game. It
was huge, especially to win it that way.
5 minutes. That was a 5-minute point.
Yeah.
So if we were down 3 and we had 3 more 5-minute points we had to win, we wouldn't have been able to do it because there was 12 minutes on the clock. So the fact that Chad and the other guys were able to pull that out is like, it gives you that breath of fresh air, that life. Everybody can kind of breathe and take a deep breath and be like, you know what? Okay, this shock of the first couple points, even though everybody's professionals and been in this spot before, they won't tell you that they get that nervous, or they won't tell you the pressure's there. But I mean, deep down it is. You get points like that, and it's like, okay, you know what? We can do this. Let's go out there and do it again.
Well, yeah, and the way that he won it, I mean, that's the biggest thing for me. I think was kind of the turning point, was not only winning the point, but the way he won it was it makes it 10 times better.
Yeah, 100%. It's just like, okay, you know what? If he can do that, we gotta go pull double duty for him now. You know, it gets everybody's like, you know what? Chad can do it. We can do it. The next person can do it. We can do it. It's this special motivation that you get with playing for somebody for so long.
Yeah. Now, with this point, it looks like you decided to risk Chad to go out to that Aztec. Was that a hard lane to shoot going out there on that snake side?
That Aztec on the snake side was makeable 100% if you just dig it out. It was, I mean, a guy had to step off the box to shoot, but if anybody did that, he's more than likely getting shot. And it wasn't even 100% kill if you did that. Mm-hmm. He just came out a little too greedy as far as extending himself on a battle heads up with Keith, and got for that one. I mean, that happens. Like, I can't if that happens occasionally as a coach for one person in a match, I can't get mad at them, because I think that they learn at this level. They know and they learn, and they're harder on themselves than I could be, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing too. Being a coach and a former player, you know when you made a mistake, and you don't need to be reminded that you made a mistake. All it could take, like with Bruno, there's plenty of times where I make some stupid moves, where I didn't really think it all too well, and all he needs to do is give me this look, and pretty much letting me know that I know that I made a mistake, and that he knows that I made a mistake, and that's all it takes. But so you guys lose this fourth point. But I have to assume that morale is still up. I mean, there's still, and I mean, obviously in a pro match like this, morale is going to be high. But I mean, that wasn't really a convincing win. They kind of went down the Doritos a little bit. Chad won a gunfight heads up. Somebody's got to lose a gunfight. And it just so happened to be Chad, and Keith won that one. But it looks like, as far as breakouts go, I mean, no one's really dropping off the break. You guys are staying alive. So is Heat. Yeah,
we were.
I'm sorry. So is Impact.
We were even, or I would say even for most of the time. Occasionally we were up a body. I mean, the first point we were up 2. So we were even with them the whole time, and that's something that we talked about after with the guys when we're all sitting there having beers, right? It's like we kind of, I mean, it sounds bad, but in a sense, Impact blew it a little more than we won it. Chad made great moves, guys made great moves, and we won it. But there was also points where Impact blew it just as much. Mm-hmm. So it's a combination. Like, it's that luck thing, right? It's one guy looks the wrong way. It's a miscommunication on one team's part. We have the spirit to keep going, and we're even with them, but we're just making a little worse decisions later in the game on those gun battles, or overextending a little bit.
Yeah. God, so I feel like everybody's carrying so much paint.
Yeah, they went to unlimited paint, and I hate unlimited paint. No offense. I mean, I'm going to get ridiculed for that one, but limited paint, 4 tubes and a hopper would be.
Dude, I've been preaching
absolutely perfect.
4 pods and a hopper. I have been M4 pod and a hopper. That's what I've been trying to preach. I think that's a perfect number. I think with the way the fields are, and there's always going to be bounce shots, there's always going to be this, always going to be that. But if you only have 4 pods on you, you're not going to waste 2 pods on a bounce shot.
It gives you the opportunity to have a full-on breakout where everybody can rip their gun no problem for a good little bit. It gives you the option to shoot the occasional bounce shot if you feel confident in it.
Yeah.
And then it cuts down that middle half of shooting 10 tubes, or somebody shooting, that's a little dramatic, somebody shooting 6 tubes at one lane. It's like, okay, now you got one or 2 to do it.
Yeah. I even think it should go to 15 balls a second capped semi-auto. So you actually have to walk the trigger to hold somebody in with a volume of paint, instead of just one finger ramping down the side.
I don't know about 15. I would like semi-auto, but I think it should be capped at a lower speed than what it is now, because I personally like the edge of you hear how slow the gun is, and you know that people placed that ball there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can see that.
I love watching hopper games, hopper one-on-ones and stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
the tick, 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 tick. I get on edge and I'm like, okay, who's going to get who? And then boom, and the crowd goes nuts.
Dude, I last weekend, actually the weekend before last, where we had that mechanical 10-man tournament,
Yeah.
I was shooting that ETHA mechanical. That's, oh my God, that thing is awesome. It's supposed to be a rental marker, but
Yeah.
it is ball on ball, super smooth. The hinge trigger on there is amazing, and that was the most fun I had playing just throw together paintball in a really long time.
Yeah. Funny you talk about that because I played Ryan Brand. They took one out from Alex's shop, and I played him in some one-on-ones before practice on Sunday. We played best 2 out of 3, and I used the Shocker CVO, which is very similar.
Yeah,
And yeah, they shot like it was fun. It was a blast.
Those are so much fun.
And everybody's on edge watching. Like we've got the X Factor guys yelling their calls like before the point starts, like their disco and everybody's calls that they have, and all the guys are like laughing at us and wearing shorts and t-shirts and like no headgear and 2 tubes, and everybody was into it, and it was a good time. But yeah, it's it's fun. It's just knowing that people place those shots there. I think that's a part of the game, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's it's one of those ones. It's like how I explained semi-auto. I mean, it's, every one of those balls that are shot are meant to be where you put them. Are meant to be where when they're shot. And
yeah,
I was trying to convince Bruno to let me shoot it at the tournament in Dallas, but he wasn't having it. But
yeah,
I don't even know if it's legal.
The 5th point we won. Fedorov was supposed to be on the snake side with Chad, but ended up having to fill to the Dorito. We had a rough time with our Dorito side that tournament. I mean, they were just getting Impact had a really strong Dorito side and kind of tore ours up, and Fedorov filled around and ended up picking up some slack over there, and Chad came down the snake again.
That was a grinder point.
He was just, yeah, it was. And he was, I think we were down that point bodies, but Chad definitely came in clutch for this tournament, and it's one of those things too. You watch as he runs down the field, the Impact guys buzz it. I mean, and Chad, people buzz it. You either buzz it for 2 reasons. You want to save time, or you're trying to force the other team to be winded or gassed, right? And I think that's something that Chad being in great physical condition, and the Russians and Ronnie, we have the ability that if you do want to buzz it, like it's not going to affect us physically.
Yeah.
So like they'd buzz it and he sprints back in. Well, I think when they see that, they're like, shit, you kind of buzz it to hope that you gas him, but he's going to go run back in there and he's going to come back in. He's in there with fire. Chad comes in with fire. Everybody comes in with fire. Like, get me loaded back up, get me out there. And I think that's another positive thing that happens, is just them being in the great physical shape where it's like, bring it on, bitch. But
yeah, I mean, the quicker, I don't want to say the quicker, but I mean, about a minute in between points, I still have the adrenaline rush from the point previous to that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So I hate the long time in between points or matches or anything like that. It just, there's such a dull.
So one thing I did here was the 6-point coming up. I don't know if Ryan played the one before, but I put Moorhead in to try to get a little power down that Dorito side. And took Yaya. Well, I might have done the point before. Took Yaya out of that snake side with Chad. He was playing good over there, but he was getting kills before, and that's something you weigh out as like a guy shoots somebody off the break consistently. It's like, that's awesome, and then he plays good. But when he stops doing that, it's like, do you hope that he picks it up, or do you try to do a change? And thankfully, this was a high-scoring match, so you have chances to make decisions and try things. But in those 3-2 games, or 2-1 games, or 3-1 games, it almost eats the coach more than anything, because it's like, what do you do? What do you risk? Which is always a tough decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like you guys were making it down to that 150 on the D side, but just couldn't really stay alive from that bunker.
Yeah, couldn't capitalize, I guess, necessarily would be the best thing too, right? Is you can get to these great spots, and nothing like that brings me to, I talk about it with Uprising all the time. Uprising's great at getting to great spots.
Yeah.
But then they just get shot out of them. And I don't mean it to rag on them. Like, I hope they listen to it and improve on it, because they're like when we practice them, they get to these awesome spots, and it challenges us, right? It challenges us to go get them or figure out how to live while they're in them. But come to tournaments, they're losing these overtime, all their matches in overtime with 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, you guys are in all the spots, you just die out. So that's one thing we struggled with here was, I mean, that point we won convincingly, shooting people off the break and going up the middle with Sergey and sending Ryan down the Dorito side.
Yeah, I was going to say that one worked.
Yeah. And it's just you gotta be able to capitalize. You say it all the time. You got to be able to get to your spot, come up, know your shot, and make it count.
Yeah. And if you can't waste in the pro league. You can't waste time. If you hesitate, if you second guess yourself, if you're trying to shoot a guy who doesn't know you're there, and you come out and you miss those 2 shots, and now he knows you're there, you probably just screwed yourself. I mean,
yeah, and you're lucky if you get him, but otherwise it's like, man, great, blew that one, and I think everybody knows that feeling.
Yeah.
But that is the difference. You're right. Is being able to hit those first 2 or 3 balls when you shoot at somebody is crucial. When you only have that half of a 2 when you're in that 50 bunker. But that one I put Sergey up the middle. So one thing, I mean, I don't want to give away all my secrets, but I try to mix stuff up in the middle as much as I can, because it's really easy to watch teams do one game plan over and over again, and they work.
Right.
But like the same time as like I win 2 points doing the same thing, well, they're going to go adjust to that. So now I might have to go out on a limb and make an adjustment myself and say, you know what, I think we can get away with this. I think they might be shooting here. Let's take a gamble and go somewhere else.
Right.
Which sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it'll throw them for a loop. And I know we did that against Firm, and I talked with Marky, their coach from Manchester Firm, about that. He's like, oh, well, we did this. We got up 2 points, and then how did you fix it? I was like, because I figured you'd do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The human nature is to tend to do what works.
So point number 7, pretty conservative breakout. You guys double up that back center, send Chad short to that can. It looks like, did you send Ryan to D1, and did he get shot off the break?
Yeah, I think so, which I don't think he got shot going to Dorito 1 very much, but I believe if that's Nick in the middle, he was probably the one that did it. But it's kind of one of those things. I don't know if Impact had to start with 4 this point, or if they started with, I think they had to start down a body 1 point.
Yeah, it says
it
this
might
one
be
they started 5.
Yeah, then I guess it wasn't this one. But I mean, on this field you can play 4-on-5. It's tough, but I think every field's tough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I really think they might have started, but I guess they started with 5. But yeah, we lost Ryan, and I mean, being trapped in this back center definitely wasn't the best option.
Yeah.
But Meese got out, so you just hope that one of the guys fills. But it was kind of something where, go a little conservative and play it out and see what happens. I mean, there was 2 minutes left.
Oh, that was Fedorov moving up the middle, taking out Laval and staying alive.
Yeah, I think he got a penalty here.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, no, he didn't. But he took out 2, 1, 2.
He might have shot 2.
2 or 3. Yeah. And this was
that was a huge point.
That's the one to put us up. But this field, we tried a couple things in practice for hold plays. And this field was like, it was the weirdest thing. I wanted to believe that you could hold it because we did it a couple times. But when it came down to crunch time, the best way to hold was to go at them. And I fucked that one up on my part as far as trying to set up a good play. Because obviously we went to overtime, and
so is that so? This next point, I mean, is that what you were trying to do? Did you not have the confidence in your hold play, so that's why you decided to go at him?
No, the next point, I think I tried to run the hold play, and I don't think it worked. We had a tough time. I talked to Chad. I talked to a couple of people about it, and we tweaked a couple different things all the time because we tried it in the prelims, and we couldn't really get it to work. It was like going to that Aztec and the can and the Dorito 1, and I think it was just kind of like the U shape of bunk. I don't know how you describe it, but V. I mean, it's the pocket on this one was extended because of how you would shoot off the break some.
Right.
But it was a weird field where you could just go if you went at somebody, you couldn't really stop them too easy.
That's what it looks like. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of trees in the way on this one up the middle.
And because of that big brick on the Dorito side, if you made it out, right, you could go all the way down uncontested. Oh, a couple guys across the field could contest you, but nothing. I mean, if you move and if you're quick like Keith or Dalton or any of those guys on impact, you can jump through those gaps. And Rainey played lights out too. I mean, like, he had a great tournament. He saved them a lot.
I don't know how his pack stays on his ass. Like, I feel like it should fall to his knees every single time.
Yeah. Oh, they put more time on the clock there.
Did they?
Yeah. They just put it said like 50 something and then it went to like a minute and 10.
Oh, they did. Did you even realize that?
No, that must have been the webcast because I don't think they did that with us. That's probably the real time. But, yeah, and another thing that Chad said that I didn't realize during the match was every time he went to the snake corner, we won the point, just about. So in overtime, I had it written up for one of them to go snake corner, and then, we got a penalty, it looks like.
Yeah, it looked like Fedorov got a penalty in that corner. I don't know if he got one filling out or what. Yeah,
and so I had him written down, actually, to go to the corner and then in our overtime point. And then I erased it. And he walked away kind of and then came back and he's like, whoa, every time I go to the corner, like, we win the point. So I'm like, is that what you're feeling? That's a big thing that I ask our guys. Like, I go, what are you feeling? Because to me, if you ask your players what they want, they see the difference in paint, the difference in lane, what they can do, what they think they can survive, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the point where Mishka ran out of paint.
That's what it was?
Mishka ran out of paint and Rainey buzzed it. Mishka had no paint in his loader.
Oh, jeez.
And Ryan, I think it was Ryan on the Dorito side, missed him when he was running through. So that's how it got tied up. Because we had two dudes alive that should have shot him. So that was kind of blown on our part. But I believe that if I go approach a guy, it's like, hey, listen, you're going to run wide this point on the Dorito side. What are you feeling? What do you want? You've gone there 2 points in a row, corner, Dorito 1, and I let them mix it up and keep track of that because I can't keep track of 10 guys, right? So I trust them to keep track of that and go where they feel confident because I feel if a guy feels confident in where he's going to go, it increases his chance of making it there alive, which is the oddest thing in the world. I don't know why I do this, but it's just like for some reason over the years – just seeing it was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it there. You kind of doubt yourself, and then it's like, boom, you get shot. Whereas like, you know what? I'm going to make it there. I'm going to do it. For some reason, there's that extra like oomph and drive behind a person, and I think they make it there more times. It could be total bogus, but it makes me feel good. It makes them more confident.
I mean, a positive mindset like that is, I mean, you're in a happier mood when you think happy thoughts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I think about it all the time. But I don't try to overthink it, right? Because if I overthink it, then I'm thinking about it too much, and now I'm, what should I do after I get there? After I make it, or should I, do this, do that? Like, no, just get there.
Yeah,
just get there.
That's part of the battle. Is getting there. I tell our guys, get there, stay alive for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, then go from there. Talk to the guy next to you. Work with the guy next to you, and you'll get where you need to go and how you need to do it. But yeah, so now we go to overtime. Well, we make them play the 12 seconds.
I was gonna say, was it? I mean, because we're looking at a 4-3 score. I was like, you what? You guys weren't.
Well, yeah, they'll tick it on. It's 4-4. They forgot to score, just like they messed up the time. But obviously, I mean, some teams will roll it if it's the end of a match. You'll roll it, but I told our other 5 guys to go play it, and I picked a line that I wanted to play overtime, and then I told the other 5 guys to just go out there and play it because it gives me 2 more minutes of time in between games to make a solid, comfortable game plan that everybody understands and everybody's on the same page to go out there and execute.
Yeah, no, it's a good strategy. I mean, the only thing that is sketchy with these last 15-second points, even 20-second points, is the the penalties.
The refs.
Yeah. I mean, they're the ones that are in charge of these matches, especially ones that are tied, possibly going into overtime unless something crazy happens.
Yeah. So I told our guys, they're like asking me where to go. I go, don't run anywhere far and don't do anything stupid.
That's a good.
And go to the closest bunkers, double up back. Yeah. I'm just like, if you think it's close, it's 12 seconds. It's going to take them 6 or 7 to run down here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just stay alive for 5, you'll be okay. If anything's close, just call yourself out or ask for a check or hide. Like, you don't really have to shoot your gun. They don't plan on coming at you.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave's a smart coach, right? Dave's a super smart guy. All those guys on Impact are smart. They realize chances of you actually making it to the other side with 12 seconds is slim to none.
Right.
So we're both kind of on the same page. It's like, you know what, we're going to send the dudes out there and we're going to be able to make a game plan, like, and have a good overtime point.
Yeah.
So, and there was also a review done. They used a little review thing to review Rainey because Ryan was shooting at him and Mishka just ran around the bunker and didn't have any pain, I guess. So they just wanted to make sure that Rainey didn't get shot before he buzzed it, which I was watching and I knew that he didn't get shot. I don't even know if he got hit. He might have, but it was after he buzzed it. So that was kind of a blown last point on our part, which was a bummer. But always make it harder for yourself. Ugh, hate it.
So is 9 seconds left on the clock? Is that the true time?
So, I think
if it's under 10 seconds, it should be ran off.
Yeah, but the only reason, it's you. I think the rule is you have to ask. If somebody says no,
you have to say please.
Then I think if somebody says no, we want to play it, you have to play it. I think it should be after. If there's under 5, you should roll it off because I don't think Mouse can make it down the field in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And when are you gonna race him?
Dude, I'm old. I don't need to race anybody.
That's fair.
I've done my fair share of racing throughout the years. I don't need to prove anything. If he is the fastest guy, that's great. If I'm the fastest, I don't give a shit. I really don't. Like, it's just like one of these things where, everybody's like, "Oh, you should race Mouse. You should race." I'm like, dude, if I'm over 30 years old, I'm done racing.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't, because for me, I know what's going to happen is that, like, I'm going to run my ass off. It's going to be close. And I'm either going to pull something or I'm going to fall down and break a wrist or something stupid fair. Like that. Like, it's not worth it to me.
No. So, no, I understand that.
But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Don't worry about it. I think everybody just likes talking about it because it keeps the hype in between
I know.
when on downtime, right? I enjoy watching it.
If I was, no, I don't really want to. I don't. It's not that I'm afraid. Like, if I were to lose, that is no sweat off my back. That's like none. No. It's no title that I've ever given myself. It was always Carl, the fastest man in paintball, or this or that. I was never parading around like I'm the fucking fastest player in paintball. I've always said, if anybody, because there's like something on PB Nation that comes up whenever somebody Googles me or whatever. They always say, "Oh, you're the fastest man in paintball." I said, "I'm one of the fastest in paintball." That's what I've always said. Or I would say I'm the fastest dad in paintball.
There you go. Hey, Thomas might take offense to that one. You be careful.
That's all right. Did you hear what happened at the 10-man thing?
No, I heard punches were flying and people were getting shot up close, and it didn't look too good. I saw the video, which is like, it's out of control.
We'll get into that. Let's. This is the overtime point. So.
Yeah.
So it looks like Impact plays pretty damn conservative on this one. They have 2 in the back center. They have a guy in Dorito 1, a guy in the Aztec, and then on the D side, and then you have just Keith in the. Oh shit! Yeah, you sent Chad to the corner, so you guys made it wide. I mean, you guys have the advantage right now.
Chad made it wide. Fedorov went under.
Oh.
It's but he got shot. When he looked out there, it wasn't Keith that shot him. I don't think
back center.
He
maybe
got shot on the outside. I think he got shot on the outside of him because not many people can see it, but there was a wicked bounce shot that would come off of that cake into that Aztec, and it killed a lot of people. And so that is probably what got shot by somebody and hit Fedorov. But yeah, like Keith went, it was just back in like the rest of the match. I mean, back and forth, right? Luckily, Sergey was able to get up the middle and pick a couple guys off and look around and cause havoc. One thing I didn't do was play him a lot up there off the go because if a guy ran straight up there, you could shoot him if you knew he was going there. So it's like we did that, I think, to Nick. We shot him twice going up there.
And it seemed like a pretty easy trade out if he did get up there.
Yeah, and I had told our guys, I'm like, listen, we can send guys straight up there, but I think it's risky. And this is where JC actually yelled that Sergey was at Godzilla, which is what we call that middle bunker.
Right.
So he bunkered out Ryan, and he knew Sergey was there, but for some reason he darted into that bunker and looked the Dorito way.
What?
And he called that Sergey. Right before he made that move, he called Godzilla, which is their call too. Godzilla.
Right.
Bunkered Ryan and stayed that way and didn't turn to shoot him. And that hurt him big time. He came back in. Dave told me he came back in, and he was like, man, I'm sorry, guys, I blew that. This was a wicked exchange. Rainey had an awesome move. But luckily Sergey got a ball on him.
I was going to say,
if a different ball game.
If Rainey would have stayed alive, it would have been completely different.
Yeah, Rainey snuck up there unnoticed. Nobody knew. He was right in front of Sergey. And people are like, Sergey's shot was pretty ridiculous, but the fact that Rainey knew exactly where to shoot his ball, like Rainey had the snapshot, right? Sergey's already out. He turns his gun and shoots. But Rainey came out and shot one ball and snapshot him. And that was when I was like, wow, that was an incredible shot by both of them. And I freaked out because I just thought Sergey had died.
Yeah.
But I saw Rainey walk off, and I was like, well, that's like, if Chad wouldn't have won this right here, Rainey probably would have been the MVP of the whole tournament because he played lights out.
So why do you think Chad stayed in the corner for so long? I mean, because it was only Laval in the Dorito corner, and then Rainey was kind of just playing more Dorito side center than anything.
I think it was containment, and him being the only person on that side, really and truly, is like, you made the corner. It's a great spot. You shot Keith. It's called what we call 100, which is nobody left. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of keeping containment, making sure nobody filled out that way to contest him, and hope that Sergey can go to work or somebody on the Dorito side could go to work. But I mean, JC made that move, canceled out. Ryan was in the 50. So, and then he wins it.
That was a messy shot.
I think it was the calculation of Ryan being in the 50. He's like letting Ryan go to work some, protecting it, making sure that nobody swings around and comes and bunkers Sergey from the snake side. So
just staying alive.
It's just staying alive and protecting your side of the field, right? You did the hard work of shooting everybody out off your side. Protect it now. You don't necessarily have to go fly down heads first, especially in the snake, because it's scary. As soon as you put your gun down and you run inside into the snake, somebody takes off and fills out, and all that work you just did is now kind of wasted, right?
Yeah, especially if they see you, for sure.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. That was a cool way to win. I mean, that you can see it in the webcast too. Break right on his foregrip or his wrist or whatever it was.
So it just started throwing them up and having a good time.
Where's your silver hard hat?
That is somewhere in my apartment here.
Did you retire?
I don't know where. Yeah, I retired it. It was too much. It protected my head a lot, which was really nice because I got shot in the head like every practice at least once.
Yeah.
So I don't have that, but I just got tired of carrying it around.
Yeah.
It's easier to carry a headband around, and new year, find a new motivation. But I don't have one yet, but I need to find one. So
what did you do? What did you just hand him?
Oh, it was Chad George.
Yeah, you handed him like a play or something.
It was the plays like of when I scout teams.
Uh-huh.
We were joking before. When we played the Martin Luthers or the ML Kings, we call them the Martin Luthers. I crumpled it up and I threw it away. I put it in my pocket, and we were joking. I got this fishbowl. Nobody can see it on this, but I got this fishbowl on my coffee table that I have nothing in.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, every time we beat a team on Sunday, you should just crumple them up and put them somewhere. So I was telling him I was going to put them in this fishbowl. So we won the first match, and then we won the second one, and I crumpled that up. And I kept it in my pocket. And then we won that one, and I was like, we came up with that story, and I go, oh, well, this one's yours to crumple up. And he's like, oh yeah, I got this. He's like, yeah.
I love those little inside. I saw it happen, and I'm so curious about those little inside things that happen.
It was just like it was like checking a box, right? It's like done, 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 and it's like, you know what, dude, I'm not crumpling this one up. That one's on you. You earned that one. He's like, oh, give me that thing. Boom. He was stoked. He threw it back at me. But I ended up bringing him home. I left him in the rental car. So
this is a big win for you guys. How forgive my ignorance, but how'd you guys fare at Vegas?
Vegas, I don't know if it was like how many teams going. We didn't make it past the first round, so I don't know if we ended up like.
Is it still top 8?
It's top 10. I don't know what we ended up. I mean, we didn't make it past the first round because we played X Factor. And they beat up on us pretty good. We got a bad repertoire of playing them first and not winning. They're a good team, great team, but we didn't make it past the first round in Vegas, and it was just like I think we got to this event. I kind of told everybody, I'm like, listen, guys, you know, everybody wants to kind of not necessarily point the finger, but they want to suggest things in a not so nice manner, right?
Right. Yeah.
Especially when they're not doing and playing the best that they can be playing. So I told the guys, I go, listen, for this one tournament, worry about yourself. Like, if I know you want to point the finger and give suggestions to people, but go out there and do the best job that you can do in your spot and trust that the guy next to you is going to do that. And I think that was probably the difference between Vegas and here.
Yeah.
Was that. And so hopefully we can keep it up. But, you know, it's tough. You get to Sundays. It's always tough. And Vegas, we didn't come out with any desire or passion in that X Factor match. And we got down, and then I made some bad decisions as far as trying to run, but it was like they were chopping us up everywhere. We get shot and are out of our bunkers being short. So it's like, man, what do you do?
Yeah.
So I think everybody took it to heart. They're like, whew.
Well, I mean, it's you have those tournaments, right? You have those games, you have those tournaments, you have those moments when you feel like, you know, like, what am I doing? Like,
yeah.
I mean, what am I doing as far as the tournament goes? These plays or these moves that I'm making, and then you play tournaments like this, and you go, oh yeah, this is why I do this. This is why I'm playing.
Yep. And so I think everybody just rolled that over, and they didn't want that feeling again. So they decided to step it up and win the first in XL Europe. Nice,
dude. It's all right. I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more about let's talk about Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. Well, this layout is chaotic.
Oh, I love it, dude. I love it.
It's gnarly. It's very confusing. I like it, but it's I can't even describe it. So I think it's going to be great to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll see some wild plays, especially from people like you.
No.
That you can't ever keep track of. On paper, you're like, this guy was over here, but then he's over here, and he started on the snake side of the box, and he ended up at the Doritos. It's, you know, this is a cool field. You can't shoot. It's hard to shoot people off the break, so it's the center's chaotic. I think it's great. I mean, that part of it's new bunkers, and I love the new bunkers. I don't even get to play on them, but I love watching.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's a night and day difference. It's definitely more 7-man-esque. And the only thing that I would complain about as far as the field goes is I wish it was more of like 7-man size. Because I feel like when the bunkers when we have the new, at least with the new bunkers now, I feel like now there's twice as many bounce shots wherever you go.
Yeah.
And that is just a killer for, I guess, literally everybody playing or watching.
Yeah. And there's some pretty gnarly ones on this one, as I'm sure people have figured out. I don't really like talking about them because I hate them so much that I know that they're there, but I try to just pretend that they're not.
But you have to use them. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it sucks so bad. But if you don't utilize something that is right there and other people are, it's devastating.
Yeah. So we had a couple. Sorry. We had
it's
a
late.
couple,
it's all right.
Yeah, we had a couple hiccups with it at X Factor when we practiced them this past weekend, where they were doing a better job of shooting it than us, which we would shoot it just as much as they would sometimes, and we were just getting hit first.
Yeah.
Which is it's horrible. It's like, what do you do? What do you do when the guy's just getting? I mean, yeah, there's skill involved, but it's like he's just getting more lucky than you.
Yeah, yeah. The one that actually bounced off of the bunker and didn't break on it ended up getting close enough to you where it hit you and breaks. And it's just, it's so frustrating.
I was glad because then you got to find ways around them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, the bounce shots I just hate them. That's why I go to limited paint. And people get angry when I talk about limited paint, but it's like, let the boys play.
Right? I mean, I don't understand why people get so mad at it. It's like, I enjoy shooting my gun, but I enjoy watching those one or two balls like break on somebody when that's all I intended to shoot. And you know what I mean? And it's like, there's so much more satisfaction for me shooting somebody like that than eventually shooting somebody's pack in the corner that you can only see, about this much of, and you just throw about a hopper and a half over there, and eventually one finds a home, and it's like, oh, that was fun, I guess. I at least got them with, the pot and a half full of paint, but
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, like 7-man size fields, they're okay to me. I played 7-man some. I'm not for or against it. One thing our guys talk about is like they need to, in the high bounce shot areas on the fields, they need to stick some skateboard grip tape on it, on the bunker, so that it can't bounce.
Yeah.
Right. That it will break. So if there's one that's like, obviously you have small ones that people might shoot from time to time and get lucky, but like on this one, you'd shoot on the snake side, basically shoot any bunker in front of the next one, they're bouncing close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or whatever Ryan Greenspan's was that he posted about is like, if you stuck a big patch there of grip tape, it would hit it and it wouldn't bounce, and it would be on the outside, so it wouldn't affect anybody's barrel or scratch it up. Like it would make it so that you had to play that heads up and see the intentional gun battle.
Have you guys tried the grip tape?
Nope, we haven't.
No?
We have not tried. I don't know if it even stick to the bunkers. That's the issue.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got glue that hold the bunkers together. They could stick some on there.
Yeah, just make every single bunker hard edges.
Yeah.
Just put something in there to solidify the side. I don't know. Maybe there would be, I don't know, like maybe a slip cover.
Yeah. I always said that, and I think that gets in a whole nother topic, but like bunkers wear out and they break, right? So I think somebody needs to make like a neoprene slip cover so that if the tie breaks down on the cover, you can buy a $100 cover instead of having to buy a whole new bunker, or like a $20 cover instead of having to buy a whole new bunker.
You just gave somebody an idea. You should go do it now. Do it now before somebody takes the idea.
I'm not doing it. I hope somebody does it because I will go play at their field wherever they are, and I will be stoked because they have condoms all over their bunkers and they're smart people and they protect their investment. It would be, and then you could put a texture on it so that it wouldn't.
Even neoprene. I don't think neoprene would have enough. Well, maybe it would. I don't know. I mean, somebody will have to do it.
And the nice thing too is like you could maybe wash them. You keep your bunkers a little bit cleaner. If it breaks and the bunker might not look so dirty and runny. It's something to absorb it a little bit and kind of let it run through the backside. So I don't know. I think there's lots of different things that can happen in the bunker game for problems to be fixed. But I think either limiting paint or fixing the bunkers would eliminate bounce shots some. And field size, I like the longer fields kind of. I don't know. I don't know if you go longer or wider. I don't think I've played in enough different scenarios to try it.
Yeah.
Or let's say anything, not to try it, but to like have a consensus about that.
Have you seen the I think it was on Instagram, but it was this whole pro one-on-one thing where it's just all the mini Aztecs in this gridded form on a square field, and it's just a one-on-one
No,
tournament?
I've never seen that, but that sounds like fun.
I don't know if it's like a hoax or whatever it is, but I saw pictures of it, and I think Archie played in it against Greenspan or something like that, but I thought it was a real deal, and then I clicked on it, and then it was like, it had like 10 followers. So I was like, I don't know if this is real.
It'd be fun to watch. I'm just jealous because I can't really stand behind an Aztec too well. It's a little harder for me than those guys, height-wise.
You can do it.
You can do it. It's just,
Get tiny.
no, yeah, I can do it. It's just, RG, like Malloy, Archie, Chad George, those guys are all like perfect paintball size.
Yeah.
They can jump over the medium-sized bunkers, but they can also just stand behind them too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I can jump over a can and shoot somebody.
What are you, like 6'3", 6'2"?
Like 5'12" is what we'll call it.
5'12". You're not six. You're taller than 6 foot. I'm 5'11".
6 foot, maybe 6'1".
You're 6'1".
But yeah, I mean, I've jumped over a can and shot Tim Montrester twice, one practice.
Ooh, calling him out.
No, he'll even talk to you about it. After I did it, he came to me. He's like, if I ever play you in another one-on-one, I'm doing nothing but shooting over the top of every bunker. Because it was the first time we played Europe and we were practicing impact, and I got in a one-on-one, and for some reason I jumped over and I shot 2 balls and they both hit him right in the face. And he's like, no, who does that? He's like, I didn't even go in because nobody can shoot those accurate. And then it happened again over another bunker, and he's like, are you kidding me? Twice in one day. I go, that's just bad luck on your part. That's not skill. It's just bad luck.
Yeah.
But
so why coach? I mean, what motivated you or kind of took you in the direction of taking over the coaching role on the team?
Yeah, so I get that question a lot, obviously, because I'm the youngest on the team.
That was my next question.
Yeah, youngest on the team I'm coaching. Most people know, or if they don't know now, they will. My dad owns the team, but I'm not the kid that holds that above people's head. Like, my dad owns the team, I should just get to play every point.
Well, you quit the team.
I did. I did quit the team. It was kind of butting heads. I mean, it's being part of family, and I was like, you know what, I need a break. And so I played for VCK for a year, and I love all those dudes. And like now the AC Dallas guys, John and Fuzz and TJ, a guy Mitch, Nico, Devin. I mean, I played with those guys, and I didn't get to play a lot. You surround yourself with superstars. Mm-hmm. And my dad's like, we're going to make this great team. We're going to win. We're going to do this. And it's like, that's great. And you win and you do it all. And then after a while, you're like, I'm not playing as much as I want to play. And so it was just like, you know what? I quit, came back, and then stuff just really hadn't changed much. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, Sam ended up coaching, and he didn't want to coach. So I was like, you know what? Like, I don't get to play a lot. I can at least have an outcome on every game. I can have an impact on every point that's played, right? Whether I'm on the field or not, I have a say, and I can feel like I'm doing something other than loading up Fedorov's pack with 7 tubes with all of his tabs turned. Like at one point, I could tell you how everybody wanted their tabs turned on their packs in the pits.
Yeah, as much as anybody go, well, you got to do what you got to do for the team. Like, yeah, I understand that, but there's a point where it's like, I want to fucking play. That's why I'm doing this.
And the one tournament I played good in Nashville when we won, when it was there the one year, I was playing up the middle and I was doing a great job. At practice, I had like some people come up to me and say, you're playing really good. And it feels good when you have that, right? Mm-hmm. And then the semifinals, I think it was, I like came out of the back center and I slipped on the refs had piled up a big group of paintballs with rakes, and I slipped on that. And like, I felt something kind of like tweak the wrong way and almost like get really close to making a big pop.
Yeah.
And I tore my hamstring, not like completely torn it, but hurt it enough to where the next point I went out there and I did the same thing.
Right.
I like went to take off up the middle and I was like, oh no, like I can't run. And so that was like, if I would have made it through the finals in that, and I was stoked because I wanted to play Damien in the finals. I always talk to him all the time. Like, I'm gonna show you how to play the middle one time. And I finally got my opportunity, and it was blown. But so, and I was supposed to run with the Bulls like 2 weeks after that, so I didn't even get to do that.
Oh man.
But that was the point where I was kind of bummed, because that would have been, I think I would have gotten noticed and I would have got to play more, and I was playing a lot, and then that happened and kind of got back into the downward spiral of not playing as much as I wanted, which is greedy, right? Because everybody wants to play, but it wasn't as much as I wanted. So I was like, if Sam really misses playing, and I like people and I enjoy coaching. Like, I coach my little brother's football team when he was little. I'd help coach for community service hours. Enjoyed that. So I was like, you know what? I can have a say, whether these guys listen to me or not. I can have a say in every point. And at practice, I can feel like I'm doing something, and so that's basically why.
Yeah.
And I
you
enjoy
gotta have
it.
confidence in yourself too. I mean, that's a big thing. Confidence in yourself, in your decision making, and you have to not necessarily demand respect, but more or less, come off with that that confidence in yourself, to where the guys on the team will go, yeah, I do trust him.
And that's tough because they've all been playing almost longer than I've been alive. Right? Like Mishka, I don't know, Mishka's in probably like his 20th year playing now.
Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
Mishka's been playing pro longer than I've been playing paintball, I'm pretty sure.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
25.
Mishka's 34, 35.
Really?
Something like that, yeah. I don't know when he started.
Man, let's see. I started in like 2002, started playing pro in 2004.
I don't even think Sergey's played a divisional tournament in the U.S. He just came straight over playing pro.
Yeah, I remember I think it was a Jawbreaker video that that Maddie was like, remember this kid? And he was in the old school Russians jersey and everything, and he had the leopard print, probably the same damn leopard print headgear on that he still wears. And
probably. So that's I mean, so it is. I mean, you said it right. It is. You kind of do have to demand respect, like, because I understand it. I don't doubt him at all, but I try to keep it simple, and I hope that they trust me. And I think sometimes they do, and sometimes they doubt me, which is in anything, right?
Oh yeah.
And I see it as it's a good experience and a good learning curve to try to become a little bit of a leader. And that's tough to do. It's tough for everybody to do. So I'm working on it. We'll see.
No, man, it's doing good. You're doing great. And I think that's a good place to end it. I think that win for you guys was obviously watching it. I watched it before, but watching with you and kind of the mindset and everything you guys had, and kind of what you went through, was you guys played your asses off. I mean,
yeah, they did. I can't be prouder of them, even though sometimes they probably don't feel like that at practice. But you can't. I mean, when you end the day like that, you can't be prouder of everybody, and everybody comes back to compliment me and say nice things to me. But it's like, dude, Chad George said, you just try to put them where you can to make everybody succeed, right? And it happened. Yeah. So,
well, congrats, man, and I would love to talk to you at the end of the year, kind of do like a recap thing. And,
for sure.
And we're playing each other in Dallas, so.
Yeah, we are. So I can't give too many secrets away.
Ooh, it's gonna be spicy.
Just know we're gunning for you, Carl.
Dude, that's old news, man. I feel like everybody is always like, oh, how'd you get shot? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe there was 2 or 3 guns on me. Like whenever I go to a site.
Yeah, I'm not much of a shit talker. I wish I was, because it's terrible. Fun.
Yeah,
but I'm bad at it. I like everybody.
I smile too much. I like having fun too much.
Yeah,
like I'm serious about it. I'm not like sitting in there joking around.
No, but you have the intensity, but you do it because you love it. And I think everybody in it does, because it's not like we're getting paid millions here. Not even getting paid that much. Getting paid less than the average person.
I know, right? But I feel like every once in a while, I'll like say something as we're like passing on the snake side. I'll try and I'll pick somebody out and I'll say something. They're probably like, fucking dumb. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm excited. I'm excited to play you guys. I'm always excited to play Aftershock because you never know what you're gonna get.
I know it's gonna be good, man. And we had a really good practice last weekend. I think we really dissected the field, and fuck, it's gonna be sweet, man.
My wits against your physical ability. Is that what you're saying here?
Bring it home.
Yeah. Okay. I'll send a couple guys after you. Maybe I think I might switch myself back to a player just so I can come out and play at one point against you.
Let's go, man. I'll show you how to play.
Settle it on the court.
Sweet, man. Well, if I don't talk to you until then, safe travels, and I don't really want to say good luck, but
sounds good. Thank you.
Hope you guys do well.
You too. But we can both make it on the Sunday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, see? So, you know what? If you just let us beat you, you can go in second seed, and it's good.
I can't. Yeah, no. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Notice how I said just let us. Not that we're going to earn it or anything. You just let us do it.
Dude, I'm tired of losing in overtime so much. Dude, like last year, we lost 5 or 6 or whatever, some overtime matches. I'm so tired to be on the shit end of the stick on that. And this, I don't know, man. Something clicked. I'm not trying to predict anything. I don't like to. But what we've been waiting for to click and kind of happen and bring everybody on the same page, the rookies from last year, with adding Pax and adding Ninos and finding that right mix, I think we're right on the cusp.
That's awesome. I mean, that's good to hear. I like it because I like to see competition grow.
Absolutely, dude. Okay. Just paintball in general is fun, and playing at the top level against guys like yourself who I'm friends with, and being able to, no matter what happens, when we're in line at the handshake, we both smile and shake hands and hug each other and be like, man, this is fucking great. So all right, man. Well, like I said, safe travels, and we will see you this weekend.
Yep. Thank you. You too. Soon in a couple days.
Hell yeah. Take care, bud.
You too. Bye. Thank you.
Later. Thank you, Ryan, for sitting down and chatting with me. I really appreciate it, man. I had a great time. I thought it was a super fun podcast. I like doing those. I feel like I should do one of those after every event with a winning team member, where we watch the event, and whether it be a coach or with a player or something, and just kind of watch point by point and see kind of what's going on through their head and the mental state, and physical state of what's happening in a finals match, because it's very hard to describe. I mean, you're in the moment, things are tense, senses are heightened. So, but it was fun. It was an awesome time. So, thank you and congrats again to Houston Heat and Ryan Smith. This podcast, again, let's thank you to our sponsors, Charm City Paintball. Like I said, he makes some of the best headgear in the game. If you guys have any questions or are looking for some custom headgear, make sure you hit him up on Facebook. He's also on Instagram, but mostly through Facebook. So thank you to Mike over at Charm City. Also brought to you by Contract Killer, ckfightlife.com. Like I said, they have awesome laser engraving, and they will work with you. They'll do some custom work. If you have an idea, they'll work off of that. And great group of guys, awesome company, ckfightlife.com. And like I said, if you have any questions about anything, especially the laser engraving or jiu-jitsu gis or anything like that, make sure you give Tony a call, 951-219-5045, or just prank call him and tell him I sent you over there. So thank you to Contract Killer. And last but not least, again, I said that, I keep saying that damn thing, we are brought to you by, another episode is brought to you by Planet Eclipse, the makers of the LV1 series, LV1, every 1.5, the CS1, CS 1.5, and everybody loves the Geo 3.5 and the old Geo series. But what I've noticed is on all of those, everybody takes the grips off. I didn't mind the grips when they came. The old school Egos and Geos, they were straight metal, flesh to metal. That's all it was. And then they started introducing the grips. I never had an issue with them, but people take them off. It's whatever. Now the grips are getting more integrated into the frames and everything. They're a lot harder to clean. If you want to personally know, my issue with the grips is they're a pain in the ass to clean. because I like taking my grips off, toothbrushing them, taking a little tiny jeweler's flathead screwdriver and getting all the dirt and the gunk inside of there and taking it out. But that's just me. I like deep clean all of my shit whenever I take it apart. But anyway, Planet Eclipse, they make some awesome markers and gear. Like I said, they also have soft goods and gear bags. I love their gear bags. Very, very good. I've used them for years on end. I especially like the compact one that they have now, where it's you can put clothes on top and you zipper that half off, and then you have all your gear in the bottom side. That's the one I use. So make sure you check them out, planeteclipse.com. Thank you again to all of our sponsors and to everybody listening. If you guys have any questions, even about carbon gear, they sponsor the podcast. I gotta do the ads in the next one, but if you guys have any questions about the carbon gear, give me a shout. You get 10% off if you use the promo code TPOP over at carbonpaintball.com. If you guys have any questions about team sponsorships or anything like that, give me a holler, and I'll help you out. But thank you to all of our sponsors, and thank you to everybody listening. Greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody is having an awesome time. I hope your team did well in Dallas. I know this is kind of a later podcast, but I'm going to start pumping these out. I'm going to do one here. I think tomorrow will be the Q&A. So if you guys submitted some questions, thank you so much. I'll be answering those tomorrow. I was thinking about doing it live, but I'm getting ready to go on vacation, so maybe I'll do it out there. I'll probably do it tomorrow morning. My brain is so smushed right now, but thank you guys for listening. I really greatly appreciate it, and please do me a favor: do not text and drive. Listen to podcasts, and it'll make everybody's life, including yours, way, way, way better. You're not good at it. I'm not good at it. So let's just not do it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that you don't do it. Believe me. But thank you to everybody out there. I greatly appreciate it. And we will see you again here soon on the Playing On Podcast. Peace.